Hello everybody. Today I wanted to do a quick video explaining how you can gear up a new or old character in Dragonflight Season 4. So this video will be for people who maybe haven't played their character in the last patch or like haven't played it since the start of Dragonflight. Maybe you just hit level 70 and you're looking to get into the most recent content and you need some gear to do that. This video is not for the person who did play Season 3 and especially played, higher level content, because you will probably have better gear going into the season, or have enough gear at least, by having played the last season. So I will try to do this quick. I'm a bit prone to rambling. I'll try to keep it short and concise. I'll do my best. However, I can't really be arsed doing any kind of editing, so it will be what it is. First off, we want to pick up 2 quests. You want to go here to Theracell, and you want to pick up the weekly from this person. If you, as me, have a question silver mark here, it might be because you have an older version of this quest. You kind of have to go in here, find that, and abandon it. Yeah, and I have this weekly's one, so I don't want to abandon it. But if you have one for an older season, maybe, abandon, and he will give you a new quest. Secondly, we want to pick up this quest from Castra. This video will be in 2 sections. The goal with this video is that you should end up with gear that is around 490 item level on average. Maybe a bit less, 487 or something like that. But first off, we might need to talk on how you can actually get there. Because if you are playing an older character or just dinged, you will not be able to go into the end parts of this video straight away. First, you need to prepare a bit. To put things into a little bit of perspective, if you played Season 1 of Dragonflight, you're very likely to be in the item level range of about 400 to 420. And as I said, the goal for this video is around 490, so that is a very large difference. If you just dinged, however, you might actually be in the range of, 400 or 350 or something like that, so you're very, very far off. I'm recording this video for the first week of Dragonflight, and some of the tips are going to be dependent on this being the first week. However, you have to adapt this if stuff changes, of course, but I will assume that you're watching it quite early. So first off, what we want to do is that we want to do the time walking weekly that we picked up from this guy down here. Time walking gives you 467 item level gear from the bosses, and time walking is really quick. You basically never stop, you just keep pressing W and running straight through. If you don't know where your buttons are, it doesn't matter. Someone will kill something, it's super easy. You could spam this for a couple of hours if you like, that's absolutely an alternative, and that will get your average up to 467. You could also do the 5 that are required for the time walking weekly and stop there. The time walking weekly in itself will give us a gear that is 493, this cache of awakened treasures. So this piece of gear is actually part of our end goal. So we want to do this regardless, always do 5 time walking runs for this week. If you have a couple of slots that you did not get items for, you can also head over to Shatrath. So when you kill the first boss in the time walking dungeon, you will have gotten a quest item. Pick up that quest item, activate the quest, go to Shatrath, and in Shatrath you will find the time walking vendor. The quest gives you 500 time walking badges, which is a currency, and that time walking vendor sells you weapons, shields, double trinkets, and it doesn't matter if they are not part of your spec, just buy them anyway. They also sell cloaks for your spec. They sell a headpiece, a belt, and legs. So you can buy at least 6 or 7, 8 items from the time walking vendor. On top of that, you will very likely have gotten 4, 5, 6 items from doing the time walking itself. So that is great. And you should now have a very close average. Depends a bit where you started, of course. Like if you have something that is level 100, it's going to drop your average. But a lot of your gear should now be a bit between 450, which is from the vendor, and 467, which is from the dungeon itself. On top of that, you also have the 493 item level from this guy, right? Then we want to do the first quest we picked up from Thesra down here. Thesra, for this week, wants you to do 3 of the original Dragonflight events. So those events are the hunt that you can find. You can find where the hunt is by finding this horn. Go to that zone, and when you're in the zone, it should be a marked area somewhere. For this zone, it's usually down here or up here. Fly to that, and just honestly, you can stand about for 5 minutes and someone will complete the event for you, or you can participate in the event. That event in itself is going to be one part of your weekly quest, and it will also reward you with an epic cache, and the epic cache gives you a 480 item level piece. So that is also a nice chunk of gear. I would probably recommend to do this before you do like full time walking spams, since you might get lucky and get gear from here instead. Then, and the hunt, you can do the hunt any time of the day. It's always going in either of the zones. It keeps moving around. We also want to do this event, Siege of Dragonbane Keep. And this is important. It says here, time left 12 minutes. That's an absolute lie. You can't do this event anymore. That is done. It starts on the hour, every hour. So on the hour, you need to be there. And when the event starts, it takes about 5 minutes to complete. And you just need to be there at the end, honestly. But I will probably be there at the start so you don't miss it. And that will also reward you with another 480 item level piece the first time you do it every week. So these rewards are only available to you once per week. If you do it after that, you will get worse gear, something equal to the time walking, I think, or not at all. A third event you want to do is that you want to go down here to the Tusker village and do the cooking event. This event is also on a timer. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it's 90 minutes, which of is like 30 minutes of making the soup and then 60 minutes of nothing. So it says here, time left 25 minutes, but it also says the cooking is over, but the soup is ready. So you kind of want to be there when the soup is getting done, not when it's already over. Down here you also have a weekly quest that you can pick up, and the weekly for that is to help out the chef 5 times. And you have, certain tasks that you can complete. The event kind of asks you to go to a vendor and buy some stuff, get some seaweed. But there are also meat lying around. Like usually someone is just like sending their pet to butcher like a whale carcass, and you can pick up that meat and throw it in the pot, and that will automatically like complete one of your 5 criteria. So it's a really easy way to complete the criteria by doing that. When you have done all of these, you will now have gotten 3 items that are 408 item level. On top of that, you also complete the quest here from this guy, which gives you 502 item level. The next week, this is not going to be in Dragonflight anymore. So the way these seasons work, or this season work, is that we have basically 3 patches. We have the original Dragonflight, we have Aberus, and we have Amirdrasil. So Aberus is located down here in the Saralek Caverns, which you can fly down to. And when this zone is awakened, the raid will be awakened, and it's very likely that the weekly will go to do something down here instead. And it's probably going to be this world boss that you can go and kill instead or something like that. So you have to adapt your my suggestions depending on what week you're watching this. On top of this, in the zone that is currently awakened, you can go here to the world boss. In this time it's Liskanoth, and kill that, and I believe that also gives you another 400 item level gear. So now we should have, one item that is 502, one item that is 493, and 4 items that are in the range of 480, on top of our time walking gear and stuff like that. And that is, now we're prepared. Now we can go into the last section of this. And for the last part of actually getting the gear that we're looking for, there are 2 things that we can do. First off, we want to get Whelpling Awakened crests. So crest is something that you can get from a various type of content, and the crest level is kind of appropriate for the level of content. Awakened is what you would get if you do looking for raid. You can see here in the list that currently it's Vault of the Incarnate that is vacant, which you can see on these symbols. And you can also see that I can't actually queue into this because it requires you to have an average of 463. Since I don't, I can't. But if you did the first steps, you should be able to queue in here. This is probably what I would do. Like you can do it straight away. Like you can do the LFR as soon as you can queue. It's usually very easy. However, you probably don't want to spend the Whelpling Crest yet. I will explain how you can spend them to get some really good gear. However, these are deterministic. So you can choose which slot you're looking for by doing this. And it's probably better to save that for absolutely last, so you can fill out whatever slot you were unlucky and didn't get random drops for. So before you get the deterministic gear here from the Whelpling Crest, my other suggestion is that you go in and do dungeons. In this case, you want to do Mythic Zeros, which I guess we go in... how do you do this again? Find a group, yeah. So go in, set your group filter. I have some add-ons here, but look for Mythic Zeros. And Mythic Zeros for this season has actually gotten quite a lot harder than they have been in the past, which is also why we needed some better gear. These are roughly equal to doing a Mythic plus 10 from previous seasons. However, they do not have affixes and they do not have a timer. In that regard, they are still Mythic Zeros as they always been. They are just a lot harder. And the reason for that is to, or what Blizzard says, is that people who don't enjoy, Mythic Plus content, they should still have something they can do that is a little bit of a challenge, because people didn't really do normal or heroic dungeons, and Mythic Zeros people only did like the first week of the patch, and then they were just not doing anything. So if you do the World Tour here, every item that you get from these are going to be 493. So every item from this is going to get you items that will be in the range of like our end goal, right? If we also look at items from LFR, so Raid Finder is going to be 480. So these items are not gonna really be hitting the level that we're looking for. 486 are coming up here towards the end bosses. If you kill Rasagath, it gives you 489, which is actually acceptable for end goal. So you will be able to get some random drops from LFR as well. But for the last part here with the Awakening Crests, every raid boss should give you 10 Whelplings crests. You also might have some world quests like these Awaken Ruby Wing quest you can see here. These will also give you a satchel that will give you Whelplings crest. And if you only do the raid and honestly, you will just randomly pick some up somewhere, you will get at least 90. And it's very likely that you will be able to get 120 Whelplings crests.
Let us discuss business.
On this vendor, if you want to see where I am, I'm down here in the Artisans Market talking to an NPC called Andoris. She will sell you this Nascent Whelplings crest, and these are used to upgrade crafted items. But we are not talking about the spark items here, we're talking about the really, really bad blue item levels. So buy this. They cost 30 each, so if you got to 120, you should be able to buy 4 of them. We should search for, we can search for Whelp. Find the enchanted Whelplings Awaken crest, that is the current season, the other are old seasons. So find the Awaken crest. Buy the mats here, send them off to an enchanter to get these enchanted. Usually happens really, really quick. There are only 600 gold each, which is absolutely nothing like in terms of materials. If we look here at the World Quest again, like World Quests are giving 600 or like up to 1,000 each. So very easy to afford that. And when you have gotten back the enchanted Whelplings crest, you can then go in and look for whatever slot it is that you might be looking to replace. So let's say I want to replace one of my rings. We can go in, look here, and Misk. We're going to look for Finger. And here you can look for the blue item. So blue is what we're looking to craft here. The epic requires sparks. If you don't know how that system works. I have another video on that, but we're looking to the blue stuff. And you can see the item level here is from 306. That is what they did at the start of the season, but you can get them up to 486. So pick this, and here you will slot in your enchanted Whelpling's crest, and any decent crafter. These are super, super easy to craft. Any crafter, like absolutely trash crafter, haven't really tried it, anything at all. As long as they have crafted some pieces, have like a couple of points invested, they will be able to hit level 5. And if you hit level 5, you now have a way to get deterministically, for specific slots, 486 gear. So that is why we want to save this towards end. You get all the random item rewards first, right? And then if you have missed something, maybe you never got bracers, you can now craft 486 level bracers, right? And you can do that every week. You can get another 120 Whelpling crest every week. So that has rewarded us with, from the weekly, we got a 502 item level item, right? From the time walking weekly, we got 493. If we did mythic zeros, we got 493 gear. From LFR, we got a bit of a mix, but we got them somewhere between 480 and 489. And then we can deterministically craft 486 gear. And I think if you do and follow all these steps, you should very easily be able to hit that average of about 490. 2 things to consider. Everything is upgradable. So we can use crest. If you got some Drake crest, for example, from doing mythic zeros, you will be able to take your mythic zero pieces and upgrade them a couple of item levels each with the help of those Drake crests instead. You can also, if you did any higher level content, upgrade that 502 piece to a higher item level. So there are at least like 6 item levels maybe on average to upgrade stuff like that. In addition to that, the only thing that we don't get doing this is tier. And I might do another video on how you acquire tier, but I think this video has run long enough. So I hope you all found it helpful. Sorry if I ramble too much. I really can't be bothered doing some very nice editing for this. It just have to be what it is. Anyway, hope you have fun, and welcome back for Season 4.